So today we're just getting right into it. I just like to get into it. We're going to talk about being still, the scripture 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. I remember this one because of my baby girl, not just because of her, but I love this scripture because it was one of her favorite scriptures. She actually had it posted on the refrigerator in our home. And even after she passed, I left the scripture there. It was there for many, many, many years. And it was just one of her favorite scriptures. And I know she understood, even though she was at a very young age, um, because we all know, especially as us being adults, stillness is very hard. When everything around us, we want to fix it, we want to mend it, we want to answer it, we want to explain it, we want to figure it out, and we want to do it right now. But God is not asking us to move faster or to fix it or to do all of those things, because in essence we actually can't. God is asking us to stay still long enough to remember that God is God, just like she did. What we have to understand about stillness is that it's not weakness. It is really trust. It's trusting in God. It's trusting to have our feet planted and remembering that God is God. I remember when she was in clinic and we would go here literally every week, sometimes twice a week. And I remember this was her first time getting her chemo treatment. And she asked me to sing this song. And she asked me to sing this song. It's called, I believe the name of it is Taking My Jesus With Me. I had to pause for a moment before I could even sing that song. I had to leave the room, ask her if I could leave the room for a second and come back quickly, of course, because the treatment was getting ready to start. But I had to leave the room and I had to go and cry because of this song that she asked me to sing. When I think of the words of this song, and if you don't know this song, you can go look this song up, Taking My Jesus With Me. I had to pause it for a second because again, I had to go, I had to pray, and I had to cry, but also thank God, because stillness is not doing nothing. Stillness looks like obedience, even in moments like this. It's choosing not to panic when our mind wants to run rampant all over the place and perceive what we know is true in that moment, or what we think is true is really not. And we want to move on it, but you can do absolutely nothing about that moment that you're in. But you have to be still and you have to know that God is God. And God can only fix and move in God's timing. It's choosing not to respond with our emotions. It's choosing not to move ahead of God just because the waiting, even in those moments, they feel so uncomfortable. Being still, it doesn't mean it looks like, but it doesn't mean that the situation it is easy. Because God is still God and God is God even in the middle of it. And even I think about my little girl, she understood that. Jesus was never rushed. Jesus was never panicked because of people or moved by our emotions and what we thought and how Jesus would move. We have to think about even when Lazarus died. Jesus moved when Jesus needed to move. And that's how our God even is on today. Even when the storms are raging, the mountains look like they are crashing all around us, the waves are beating, everything is going on around us. God is asking us to be still and know that God is God, even in the midst of those moments. So today, I am asking you, just like I had to do even in that moment, I had to breathe, I had to pause, I had to pray. And I had to know, even in that moment, that God was still God. I had to know that stillness was not my weakness, but it was knowing that God is the one who was going to hold me steady, even her steady, when everything was crashing down around us or what I felt was around me. I had to know That stillness was trusting God. Be still and know that God is God. And God is going to move when God is going to move. And trust that it will be for your good. Trust God even in the stillness. My baby knew that. And I had to learn that. Be still and know that God is God. It is not everything that you perceive in that moment, what you're seeing. But no, God is still working in the midst of it. And that is my daily bread for you all today.